Okay. Hi, Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. It's early August of 2021, and how do you know that you could be a successful Forex trader or a continuing success at your trading in Forex? That's what I'd like to chat with you today. You know, I came out here into the kitchen to get another cup of coffee. It's such a beautiful day. I thought I'd record this not outside but out on the porch. I came in the kitchen to get a cup of coffee and look at what my wife found the other day at the farmer's market. This is one of the biggest things I've ever seen in my life. And so let's get on with our video here. I get my coffee and I'll meet you out on the porch. So there's the Bow Dog, and he's out on the porch here, and you can see these chairs lined up. Sorry for the not so steady cam. Okay, so we have chairs here. Why, Peter, do we have chairs in front of the door? Well, it's because of the Bow Dog. We have these chairs in front of the door because the Bow Dog would try to escape through those chairs and get outside. That's the reason the chairs are there. So the Bow Dog doesn't think that he can get out through the door. That's the purpose of having those chairs there. But could he get out? Yeah, he could crawl under there. I don't give him the opportunity to do that. Or we'd have to put something else up. Or we'd open the door for him. But he doesn't know, because he's faced with an obstacle. And so what I want to talk to you about is these obstacles. Could you have an obstacle that's preventing you from achieving the success at trading that you feel that you should have? Or maybe you don't even know enough about it to know whether you could do it or not. Let's talk. So it's more of a metaphysical question than it is one of your technique or your strategy or how much you know about fundamental analysis or technical analysis. But don't turn the video off, because if you've done any kind of research at all other than the assholes running around in Lamborghinis on this video of this YouTube world, if you've read Mark Douglas, and if you haven't read Mark Douglas, Trading in the Zone, you need to do that, because how you feel as a person, not only about today, but as yourself as a person, is going to dictate probably more of your ability at success than whatever information you have packed into your little cranium. It really is. Why should you sit through a video with me once again talking philosophically and psychologically about the Forex market when all you want is the secret sauce to an opening process? Well, if you really think that, then, you know, go watch Casey Neistat or something. Very entertaining. I watched 5 of his videos last night, as a matter of fact. That's great stuff. Don't watch me. I got nothing to say to you. If you're still here, look, a positive attitude is something that you have to work for. You're not born with it. Nobody gives it to you. You have to have something come into your life that causes you to reflect on yourself as a person and your ability to deal with adversity. Currency trading is adversity. You're constantly in battle, not with the market. You can't beat those guys. I've done videos on that. You're in battle with yourself. You're in battle with your in battle with your own emotions, your feelings of insecurity and everything else. You know, your mommy didn't love you and the dog bit you when you were 4 years old, and I don't know. But at some point you have to put that stuff aside and say, I have these issues, I have these problems, I'm insecure, or I'm whatever. You can't change that. That's part of your character. It's part of what makes you the person that you are. You can't change that. But what you can do is recognize it for what it is and learn methods of working your way around that. You know, if you have had a problem, for example, with alcohol in the past, and you've been able to put that aside, it doesn't mean that you're not still an alcoholic. You're not a practicing alcoholic. You've made a decision in your life to take this horrible thing and put it in the background so that you can live a more fulfilling life. And so when we approach trading, whether it's, you know, stocks, bonds, currencies, used tires, cars, whatever you want to trade, you have all of those uncertainties and feelings of inadequacies that we all have in our life come to the forefront. You know, the best place to study the worst case of human beings is around the poker table, where there's serious money involved. With mediocre players. If you're really, really, really a good player, it doesn't bother you. The wins, the losses, they don't bother you. Just like in trading. You take a horrendous loss, well, you've got the confidence that, you know, you'll be able to come back. But if you're just a mediocre player, and you're playing with other mediocre players, a fourth of those players are going to be cheats. And you're going to have inadequacies and all the rest of the stuff that comes with that cause you to feel that you can't compete. And so, as I said in another video not long ago, you can't compete in the currency market with the big institutional traders. They've got too much money and they're too smart. These are some of the smartest people in the world. So you have to figure out where you want to be as a person in the life that you have. You know, maybe a tree fell over and crushed your car while you were in you know, during a storm, and you escaped from that, and so you have a fear of trees falling on you. You need to put that aside as a very low level probability of it happening again, and enjoy walking in the forest, or enjoy sitting in your car by the river where there may be trees. We have to take all these things that may concern us and may impede our ability to enjoy the world around us, or our trading, and find something else in us, a strength that says, I'm going to put those fears to the side so I can look more clearly at this thing that I may have some fears about, so that I can see my way better to understanding what the real concerns are in trading. Trading itself is very simple. Forex trading is very simple. I mean, you could be ridiculously simple about it and say, if the price is going up, you buy, and if the price is going down, you sell. Well, you know how ridiculous advice is like that. You're going to pay somebody thousands of dollars to teach you that? Are you listening to this video because you think I think that's important to know? Come on. But there is simplicity in that. If the price is going up, we have some gauges about that. Well, if you're on a 5-second time frame and the price is going up, well, who gives a shit, because there's so much noise that's probably not valid. You might want to look up on the 15-minute. If you're on the 15-minute, you might want to look up onto the 4-hour to get a confluence of what's the real weight of the price doing. You know, even a person drowning in a lake is going to bob up every now and then and catch a breath. And so you really have to look at this stuff more objectively in how you're viewing the dangers. In many of my blog posts, and certainly on the videos, I've given a quote that my martial arts master back in 1969, I've been in karate a long time, told me, you know, karate is about learning self-defense and all that other stuff, but there's also that component of learning about the philosophy of life and psychology and how to deal with people. And he taught us this very early in our training. The only way that you can change who you are into who you'd like to become is to alter the way that you think, because you're a product of the way that you think, and thoughts are things. Think about that. It's not just him that says that, but references through all of literature and science, and they all say the same thing. And, you know, you eat what you sow. If you think good things, even though maybe things aren't so good for you, you'll see ultimately the good in it. It might not prevent you from having your leg amputated or whatever it is that your particular problem is at the time, but it's how you view that situation that's really important, right? And so in thinking about our trading and not having the success that we're expecting to have or need to have, there's two factors. One is that you have to understand the law of large numbers and the statistical likelihood that in a given number of trades, if you're a 33% win-loss trader, in 300 trades you're going to hit 6 losses in a row. Could be more. So are you in, and the potential there, and I've run into 13 losses in a row. Two of the largest and most famous traders, speculators of all time, both report in 25-year careers they've each had 2 periods of 15 losses. And so are you experiencing one of those shitty periods where you just can't make it work? You know, my wife and I play backgammon every night and have a little wine and just enjoy playing. And we play quite a few games. It's just nice to sit and chat and play backgammon. And there'll be periods where one of us will, we'll just, all we'll do is lose, and the scores mount up. We use the doubling cube, but it's because we play so much. There are times where one of us will get 20 points behind in one sitting. One sitting. Now we'll play maybe 8 or 10 games in a sitting, but still over a 10-game series, even flipping the cube to go 20 points down, that's a lot. And then the next week, it'll flip the other way, or maybe 2 weeks later, it'll flip the other way. And then it'll flip and we'll jump ball for a while. So you really have to understand, if you're going to get into trading, any kind of trading, you have to understand what are the statistical likelihoods of losing streaks. Because I don't dwell on the shitty stuff. I'll let other people dwell on the shitty stuff. So in looking at your ability to be successful, you need to understand the probabilities. And secondarily to that is you can't get wrapped up in thinking that you need to know more than you really need to know. I got a degree in physics. I had a 33-year career as a software engineer and a 40-year career as a real estate investor. So I'm used to solving complex problems. I've written a couple of dozen computer simulations on all kinds of different trading. I did some simulation analysis on options, stock options. I've done stocks. I've done a little bit of work in commodities, not too much, because I figured out that wasn't a game I was going to be able to win. And then I've done quite a lot of that in currencies. That's how I started. I learned about this stuff in 2007. It's 2021 now. And I didn't take a look at it with an intent to be a trader. I mean, I was doing real estate and making enough money to, you know, that's how I retired, my real estate, certainly not my job. So I've got this technical background that looks for complex things to solve. And so I took this academic exercise from 2007 to 2012. It was all simulation analysis and study and learning. I bought dozens of books that they're learning all about this stuff just because it's fun. It's fun. 2012, I said, well, let's give this a try. Open a mini account, boom, flatlined on that. Open another one, flatlined on that. So I obviously don't know enough. And so I spent from 2012 to 2017 or 18 learning more stuff. And then because I was doing my simulation analysis on a $40,000 simulated account, and it was working in the simulated environment, you know, there were periods I was, you know, it was doing really well on a monthly basis, long stretches of time. So I opened a $40,000 real account, and away that went. And I said, well, it can't be because I don't know enough, because I know probably more than 98% of the retail traders out there about technical analysis. Look, I've been studying technical analysis since the mid 80s, 1980s. Yeah, Edwards and McGee. Read it. I've read Graham and Dodd's Security Analysis. I understand all the technical stuff. I've been studying fundamental stuff almost since the 80s as well. So there's got to be some disconnect here. It isn't because I don't know anything or don't know enough. It must be something else. And it was. And I figured that out in about 15 minutes. It wasn't so much with knowing stuff. It was simply a matter of saying, this is obviously not a complex solution space that needs complex work to resolve it. It must be simple. That was my first conclusion. And I believed it fully because I have a physics background. So I know the difference between a complex system broken down is just a bunch of simple things, right? So I looked at the thing, broke it down, and came to the simple components. It took me 15 minutes. I spent another couple of weeks experimenting with it. In my real account, I had $5,000 left, so I was fiddling around on a mini account for a couple of weeks. Says, that looks good. I'm going to go all in with my $5,000. And about 5 months later, or something like that, I forget what it was, it's not important, but I doubled that $5,000 account. That's not to say I could take a $500,000 account and double it, because the process is a little bit different when you're working with a small account as working with a large account, but that's a conversation for another video, and I'm sure that if you've done any trading at all, you understand that. Regardless of that, the conclusion that the trading, the Forex market was simple, was a huge, not only revelation for me, but it released all of the anxieties and the guilt that I had from doing all this study and got nothing out of the study. You know, you've heard on my other videos my rants about these educators that do these videos, and they just go on about stupid shit. And they charge thousands of dollars to tell you about trend lines, and as the price bounces off them, you pick off this and blah, 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 blah. And it's just horseshit. It really is. Some of them know what they're doing, and they were successful legitimately. Most of them, some of them don't even trade. But most of them, I think, you know, they worked at 200 to 1 leverage, got lucky 6 or 7 times. I've done math analysis. I've posted that up on my blog post, as well as done a video on it. And in, I think it's 8 or so successful trades at 100 to 1 or 200 to 1. Well, I forget what it was. And anyway, you could take a $10,000 account or a $8,000 account and run it to 6 figures in 8 successful campaigns with maybe a couple of little losses in there. So, and then what do? Now you're a fucking expert in trading? That's why I don't have any respect for anybody that can take a small account and run it to a big account, because there's a reason for that. Because you have to be an absolute anomaly in order to do that, or you're a liar, or you got lucky. I'm not going to be an anomaly, and you're not either, because if you were, you wouldn't be listening to this channel. You'd be successful. You'd have your own channel. So there has to be some ground in between that in order to give you the confidence that you can be successful. The bottom line is that you're probably not going to be able to do it on your own. You need somebody who understands this stuff, that can sit down with you or whatever, or has the ability to write in a course. That's what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to write this into the best possible manner that I can, not so much to sell the course. I don't expect many people would be willing to pay the price that I'm going to ask for it, and it's immaterial, because the course isn't for somebody to buy. The course is for me to write, so that I can better coalesce my thoughts and feelings about success in trading, and how simple it is to keep myself successful. You know, the other day on a video, I said every day when I get up out of bed, I say I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm terrific, and I'm calm. That's what I was taught as a martial arts student. That's what I've taught my martial arts students. I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm terrific, and I'm calm. I have to make the conscious decision that that's the case for me when I get up out of bed, because if I don't make that conscious decision, then the default is I'm not going to be happy, healthy, or terrific, or calm, because I didn't make the choice to be that. Inaction is as bad as having to go bad for you. Inaction is a choice, and it's a bad choice. And so you simply need to alter the way that you think in order to change your perception of your trading, so that you can find out what the hell you're doing wrong. Jesse Livermore said that the best way for an education in the markets is to invest your cash, track your results, and learn from your mistakes. Man, there couldn't be a better piece of advice than that. And my advice to you, listening to me and stuff, and you like to read, look, even if you don't like to read, I think Jesse Livermore's book, Reminiscences of a Stock Operator, Edward Lefebvre, who wrote it, it's supposed to be a fictional thing, but we think that Jesse Livermore wrote it, or he had somebody write it and he was in the background talking about it. But Reminiscences of a Stock Operator, and then Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. I think the Reminiscence book gives you the flavor of trading, and how you're trading based on your instinct and the peripheral information that's around you, and your ability to assimilate that, not on all the shit that other people tell you need to know. The reason people tell you need to know all that shit is they really don't know how to trade, and they rely on that crap instead of saying, well, you know, I take all this stuff, and in my mind I put it together, and then I trade, and I'm successful. But you're not trading because of the things, you're trading because of your experience. But the only way that they can make money and teach this stuff is to teach trend lines and stochastics and all the other horse shit that you're going to read about. The only way you can change who you are into who you'd like to become is to alter the way that you think, because you're a product of the way that you think, and thoughts are things. Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. Have a great day, and have a great trading day.